this first Sunday of Advent, we read from Mark chapter 13. Jesus said to his disciples, "In those days, after that suffering, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will be fallen from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Then he will send out the angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. From the fig tree, learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see these things taking place, you know that he is near at the very gates. Truly, I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day or hour, no one knows, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Beware, keep alert, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey, when he leaves home and puts his slaves in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on the watch. Therefore, keep awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come. In the evening, at midnight, at cockcrow, at dawn, or else he may find you asleep when he comes suddenly. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake." The Gospel of the Lord. Ooh. Have you taken out your hope and brushed off the dust and fluffed it up a bit to be ready? We need some powerful hope around here. When we hear words like Mark chapter 13 today, if there were ever words of warning coming out of the mouth of Jesus, these words today qualify. So we think about it. Is our hope ready for Advent? The way Mark tells it, Jesus describes the end of the age with signs in the heavens. And they sound scary. The sun and moon are going to go dark. And the stars are going to fall from the sky. And all heaven's powers will be shaken. Whew. That sounds worse than a change in the climate. And all this, Jesus says, directly after he had told the disciples that their grand and glorious temple, where they worshiped God each week, would be totally destroyed. Not one stone left upon another, he said. In other words, hard times were coming. What can Jesus be telling the disciples to watch for? Well, it might pay us well to look at when Jesus tells all this. We're in Mark, and then it's in Matthew, and it's in Luke, just before Jesus is arrested and treated as a criminal and nailed and hung on a cross and executed by those in power. These words come shortly before that. Mark 14 reads that while Jesus bled and was dying on the cross at noon, darkness came over the whole land. And 3 hours later, he died. And at that time, the curtain of the temple that separated the people from the Holy of Holies tore in two. these words that we just read, Jesus spoke to his closest disciples. They're words that came shortly before they would witness that death, and shortly before they would fall asleep in the garden and not keep awake with him while he prayed. See, I wonder if we can even imagine whether we're prepared for the amazing plans God has to return us all to God's way, God's life, God's love. I mean, who knew where the cross would lead? Who can understand such cosmic, life-changing, far-reaching plans? Jesus does not say these things to us so that we could understand it all. How could we? Jesus doesn't try to prepare us to take a test so that we get all the answers and 100 perfect score. Why does Jesus tell us to stay awake, to be alert? He calls us to do all that. First of all, because he knows we're going to fail. We're going to look back and say, wait a minute, what have we done? You remember, the soldiers grabbed Jesus in the garden just after the disciples had fallen asleep. Do we turn a sleepy eye on some injustice that we should notice and call out? Would we rather just mind our own business and not speak up for people who are losing their hope? Jesus asks, is your hope ready for the coming of a world where Jesus arrives to set things right again? Is our hope ready to trust that there is love and mercy from Jesus when we're staring at a world gone mad with wars and rumors of wars? Where does our hope come from anyway? Can we make it happen? This is Jesus speaking, wanting the best for us, giving us hope by letting us know that when there are scary events, and there will be, even threats to our lives can happen. Is that the last we'll see of Jesus? Absolutely not. Our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. We sing it. Jesus does not tell us to run and hide behind locked doors. But that's what the disciples did. He knew it was going to happen. He knows us inside out. That's why he came to live our life and understand how we react. Still, he encourages us. Stay awake. Keep alert. Pay attention. You're going to see God at work. You're going to see that Jesus does not leave us as orphans. Your hope will have power. Jesus' power to set the world firmly in God's love forever. You know the old song, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth, all these scary things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. That's where he says to focus. Focus on God's goodness, God's grace. That's our hope. That's our future. We're going to land in God's loving hands forevermore.